Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Knuckle Sandwich live stream. I'm your host, Brandon Anderson. If you didn't get the Venmo link earlier, it's in my past video with Danny Barlow. I made sure to put it in there. Drop me a little Venmo if you really appreciate what I do. That's just me trying to be a beggar. Anyways, today we've got a very special episode. We've got Zack Hicks from Nashville MMA coming on. Again, another repeat offender is what I'm calling him. He's got a big fight this Friday, August 2nd at PFL Nashville. Just signed a deal with them. So we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with all that. And then we've got Guess the Fighter, but in a different fashion as well. My wife is going to actually give fighters nicknames instead of guessing their name. So I'm curious to see where her brain is. We kind of went over some rules earlier just so we don't get canceled. But other than that, UFC 304 was last night. We have a new welterweight champion that nobody really seems to be excited about. Bilal Muhammad defeated Leon Edwards. I didn't watch the fight. Sinuses have been kicking my butt. I went to sleep early last night. Woke up, saw it, watched all the post-fight interviews, and I'm on Dana White's side. I'm not really excited about Bilal Muhammad being champ. We'll see what happens with that. Tom Aspinall is a freak of nature, just like I've said for the past 3 weeks since we've been doing these lives. I think he defeats John Jones anytime they step in the cage, especially with me being the biggest John Jones hater in the world. And then Paddy Pimblett is now going to be a ranked lightweight. Curious to see where they go with that one. Other than that, no big things coming out of UFC 304, in my opinion. I thought that the bonus thing, I talked with Danny yesterday about the bonuses, and he was like, well, just giving them more fighters instead of more money. Yeah, I think Dana's going to be on that side as well because he said he's not going to up the bonus pay anytime soon because there was like 7 straight decisions on the card. UFC 304 didn't really deliver. Hopefully 305 will. Dricus du Plessis and Israel Adesanya, I had to think about it for a second, in Australia. That'll be great. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the live stream. It is 5:11 p.m. on this beautiful Sunday, July 28th. I'm excited to get into the interview portion. But before we do that, we've got to sit down with my wife and have her give some fighters nicknames. Come on into the picture. All right, are you ready?
I'm a little nervous for this one, but sure.
A little nervous. Okay.
Okay, I can't see.
First fighter.
Okay.
You know who this is? What should his nickname be?
He looks like Mose from The Office. So, Murder Mose.
Murder Mose. If you're an Office fan, you'll understand. Rab Davalishvili, a.k.a. Murder Mose.
Murder Mose.
Go to the next one here. You've got
Mr. Clean.
Alexander Mr. Clean Volkanovski coming back. He's going to get the belt again.
Yeah, I can see it.
Next one.
Oh my goodness. He looks like a murder muppet for sure.
Murder Muppet, Benoit Saint-Denis. I'm going to send these to all these guys too in their Instagram bio and be like, hey, you should change your nickname to this for one fight. And finally, the last one, number 4.
Okay.
More of a normal guy.
Yeah. Crooked Nose.
Jack Crooked Nose Della Maddalena.
There we go.
It's got a nice ring to it.
Yeah. I mean, like, look at that thing. It's like...
Would you have guessed any of those fighters' names?
Heck no. Maybe Volkanovski, but that's it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Let's go through them one more time. So we got Murder Mose.
Murder Mose.
Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean.
Murder Muppet.
Murder Muppet.
Crooked Nose.
Crooked Nose.
They kind of all rhyme too.
That's where my brain goes,
Yeah,
you know?
it's all good. Appreciate you. Good job.
Don't get me killed.
Yeah. We're going to get canceled. All right, let's immediately. Let's bring Zack Hicks on. The man of the hour, the man of the week. What's up, brother? Zack Hicks, repeat offender number 2.
Not much, man. I appreciate you guys having me back.
100%. The first time we had you on, we were in like the back alleyway of Nashville MMA in the owner's office. Yeah. We've been there quite a few times since, but now we are in my house, in your house, virtually. Just because it's fight week, I didn't want to mess with the feng shui or whatever for you, So we're doing this virtually today, making sure that you're staying locked in. But I appreciate you taking the time and talking with us today. about your upcoming fight. I want to recap a little bit, though. What's happened since then? I mean, so whenever we talked last, right, you are going into your next fight against Brandon Gator. You ended up winning that fight via decision. A really dominant performance in the wrestling aspect for you. That was back in December of last year. So what has happened in between December and now, and what has led you to this next fight at PFL?
I talked to you guys last time, I think, in the post-fight interview, how I was going to be coaching wrestling. So I had to coach at McGavick High School till like March. They needed a lot of help, so I helped them out. Then I got back in the gym, started doing some jiu-jitsu, got my brown belt because I'd really been wanting to get my brown belt. So I put a lot of time in with the gi. Really feel like I improved my jiu-jitsu a lot. I know the goal was the brown belt, but
Uh-oh. Oh, no. There he is.
then
Okay.
ready to fight for sure. Okay. We're good?
You're good. You're back.
Okay. All right. Round, I was ready to take a fight again, and
We're getting you in spurts. It's all good.
Okay. Crap, yeah. On my internet, Wi-Fi, but okay, so
Yeah, we just sat here for like 20 minutes
course.
before we got on actual camera.
Yeah, I know. So started training a little harder in the summer, doing 2-a-days, things like that, and then my manager hit me up. He's like, "You want to fight on PFL Nashville?" And I was like, "Of course." And then the rest is history.
So how did that end up getting or going for you? How'd you end up getting the call? Like what went into that? Because I know your manager Steve. We talked quite a bit about just fights in general and all those kind of things. So what went into getting the call for PFL Nashville for you?
He was actually so one of his guys, Michael Dufort, is a 155er in the PFL. He's in the semifinals, and he was in Salt Lake City for his fight. And one of the matchmakers was just talking to Steve, like, "Hey, we're coming to Nashville." And I'd fought in the Challenger Series before, and he brought me up and said, "Do you want to get Zack on the card?" And he asked me, and I said yes. And they said, "All right, we'll get him matched up." And then after that, I got a little sweeter of a deal because I got signed a developmental deal with them. So opens the door for more than just one fight, not just PFL Nashville, not a Challenger Series type thing. Could be a multi-fight, hopefully multi-fight thing this year. So that's the goal if I impress here at PFL Nashville.
I remember the last time we talked, you had pretty much not necessarily fresh off the Challenger Series, but it still was weighing on you a little bit because I remember you're saying like that wasn't my best performance. I know that, and you went out, you had that Gator fight, and now just watching your film, seeing you in the gym multiple times and crossing and those kind of things, you're really starting to come into your own. It seems like, and you've been a veteran for a long time. I mean, you've been fighting for it seems like 20 years almost. I don't know. But it seems like it pretty close to it, right? And so being back
to it now.
Yeah, so being back on the PFL stage now, what's your mindset going on to the show? Just in order for the big show, right? This is an actual PFL event, not the PFL Challenger Series, but also too with it being in Nashville where you train and live.
What's my mindset with that? Just mainly righting what I consider a wrong. Like, I let myself down in my PFL fight. I had a lot going on that week. I won't get into, mainly sickness related, but that aside, I didn't perform to my standard, and I really want to right that wrong, prove that I'm big show quality, like I belong on the big shows, because I know I do, and I just want to prove that to myself and others. And to go out there and not have any regrets, fight my fight, and just leave it all in the cage. And I'm determined to make that happen this Friday.
This Friday you fight at PFL Nashville. Your opponent is Cody Law. I've got his Tapology pulled up here. I mean, the guy seems like he's pretty all around. He's 8-2. All of his pro fights coming from Bellator. 4 KOs, 1 submission. He's never been finished. So I know for you, you're the submission expert, right? Like, I know you're kind of itching to probably put that first finish loss on his record. So what do you think of your opponent moving into Friday?
I know he's a Bellator guy. He had like all of his pro fights in Bellator. He lost to two decent guys. I don't think 2 world beaters. He's a good wrestler. He's like a Division II national champ wrestler. I'm a good wrestler though too. I know I can match him there. Well-rounded. He trained at ATT, main ATT for a while, but I think he trains in Pittsburgh now, where he's from what I've gathered. But yeah, I think we have a lot of similarities, but there are some differences, and I know they're bringing him over from Bellator. Because PFL bought Bellator. They had that merger, so it's his first fight with PFL, my second. So I'm looking to use his Bellator momentum for myself.
Love it. And so with PFL Nashville, also you've got a teammate fighting on the card as well. So you're getting to really share the stage with a teammate of yours, Dedrick Sanders. What's it been training wise like somebody that's fighting on the same card as you on that big stage?
Great, because you're not doing all this alone. Like, we have a lot of active fighters at Nashville in May, though, which is good. But it's always good. I like having teammates fight with me. Some people might be like, "Oh, I want all the attention on me," blah blah blah. But it's just me and Dedrick. Ask each other how you're doing. Like, how you feel today? Like, because we're going through all the same stuff. And we do our hard rounds together. Yeah, it's great to have him on there. I think he fights the fight literally before me on the card, and so he's gonna go, then I'm gonna go. So that part's not as cool because we have the same coaches, so they're gonna be like coaching him. I'll be in the back waiting, but we have a couple different cornermen. So one of my guys, Charlie Alexander, is gonna be sure getting me ready, and I think he'll have Dustin and BT out there with them, and I think Rashad's going to be out there with them. But yeah, it's great having him on the card with me.
So I need to know. I know you're a really subtle guy. You don't express too many feelings. You're really laid back. But you got a prediction for your fight coming on Friday?
Prediction? I don't know. I could see it finishing multiple ways. I'm never the type to be like, "Oh, I'm gonna knock this guy out," or "I'm gonna submit him in the first round," or anything like that. I'll just say that I'm gonna bring it the whole time, whether it's 1 round, 3 rounds. If I have to like wear him down because I'm good at doing that. Like, guys come out hard against me a lot, and then they kind of slow down, but I keep the same pace, if not get better. So I'm just confident wherever it goes. It might be more of a striking match. It might be more of a grappling based fight. I don't know, but I'm excited. I am looking for the finish because I know that finish will give me more chances with PFL.
100%. And so people can still buy tickets, I'm sure, and you have a code, right, that people can buy tickets with. If you want to share that, so that way you can get some commission off of that, go for it.
So okay. So my code is ZHICK, like ZHICK, not Hicks. It's just ZHICK. But easier way to do it, I know everybody pretty much is on Instagram, is to just go to my bio on Instagram. I have the link. It'll take you right there. There's still tickets left, but I'm feeling they're going pretty quick because I've had a lot of people buy. And I know PFL is starting to really promote this thing, so I would get them now.
So I made sure to get ours about 2 weeks ago. So and we used the code as well. But Zach, I can't wait for this fight, man. PFL Nashville, August 2nd against Cody Law. I'm excited for you. I hope you get many more after
Yes,
this
sir.
one. Lawton, let's get into these hot topics. I'm
Appreciate it.
itching for these ones.
Sounds good.
Oh, my mic was muted on the stream. I gotta get better at that, man. That's like 2 in
Yeah.
a row. I keep misfiring that every time. I think I got the skills and I don't. But yes, all right. So Zach, we kind of went over this earlier. We're gonna go through 5 topics really quick. Each of you guys are gonna get 1 minute each, just to kind of give your clear and concise thoughts, and we'll just kind of go down the line. I'll probably pick at random who will start each topic. I usually let Brandon go first just to kind of set the tone. But we got the first topic of UFC Noche. We got Dana announced the full card on Friday. We got 2 titles on the line. That's O'Malley versus Merab and Grasso versus Shevchenko. So the question is, what do you think of the Noche card? Is it worth the hype? Because obviously that's getting a lot of promotion now. Cards are up. 2 titles on the line. So what are your thoughts about it? And is it worth the hype? And like I said, Brandon, we'll pass it to you first. So you got 1 minute. Give us your thoughts on UFC Noche, and your minute starts now.
UFC Noche at the Sphere in Las Vegas. They say it's going to be the one and only show that they ever do there. I think they built the card pretty well. It's not a UFC 300 type card, but I guess everyone can't be, and that's kind of like the bar now for every pay-per-view in my decision, which I need to let go of. But for O'Malley and Merab to be the top fight, the main event, that's huge. I am surprised, though, that it's not a Mexican fighter in the main event. But I don't think Grasso and Shevchenko could have headlined this card and it sold as much as O'Malley and Merab would. So it makes sense. I wish it would be Ilya and Max Holloway, but Max went on his live stream and said, man, you can't have a Spaniard on a Mexican Independence Day card. That also makes sense, too. I think there's other great fights. Ortega Lopez, which should have happened a couple of weeks ago, is now going to happen on that card. That's huge. Zell Huber is on the card, and then that Rodriguez kid is a killer. So I can't wait. The main card looks great.
Wow, very nice. Minute on the dot. All right. Zach, we're going to pass it to you. Give us your thoughts on the Noche card. Is it worth the hype? What are your thoughts? You got 1 minute starting right now.
UFC Noche, I think it's pretty good. I'm not super pumped about it. I am excited about Sean O'Malley versus Merab. I feel like Merab's clearly, without a doubt, the number 1 contender. And there's been a lot of back and forth between him and Sean O'Malley, and they finally get a fight. Who's the best? I feel like Merab's a tough matchup for Sean O'Malley, but Merab's pretty hittable. So I'm pumped about that fight alone. Grasso versus Shevchenko. I favor Grasso. I'm not super into that one, but the one that I'm most excited about is Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez, just because they're both such good submission grapplers. I hope that fight hits the ground, just to see how the grappling plays out. I'm really high on Diego Lopez right now, so I'm favoring him. And overall, it's a solid card.
Very nice. All right, gentlemen. Topic 1 complete. We are now going to move on to our second topic, titled Rematch. This is a fun one with some current news. So, Matt Hamill has stated that he would rematch John Jones since Jones is wanting his DQ overturned. And we all know about the 12-6 kind of getting reversed come November. So, the question is, what we're going to talk about is, would Hamill have a chance in this rematch? So,
Can you throw that link up, Lawton, real quick?
Oh, yeah, I forgot we had the link. Yeah. Let me pop over to that really quick.
I don't know if you can see that, Zach, but his quote is, let's cut this chase. I know you're Dana White. I know you're desperate to get John Bones an undefeated record. I see how you want to profit from that. Is also why you bail him out on all the other things. So how about a rematch? I'll be happy to fight him for a heavyweight title. If I beat him, I want a UFC belt. Let me know if Stipe backs out. I'll take short notice. Just remember he already lost to me.
Bada bing, bada boom. Yep. So we got some opinions on that one, that's for sure. But yeah, so that is the topic. Would Hamill have a chance? Zach, you want to start this one off for us?
Sure.
All right. Would Hamill have a chance?
No, I don't think he has a chance.
If I say your minute starts now, give us your thoughts.
Matt Hamill rematching John Jones, I don't think he has a chance. First of all, I don't even know how old Matt Hamill is now, but I'm assuming he's probably mid-40s, early 40s. I think he just wants a payday. Like he was getting dominated by Jones. Just give Jones his win back. 12-6 has always been a ridiculous rule. Uh, I think there's someone broke like a ice block doing a 12-6 elbow, and that's why they banned it originally, something like that. Uh, but yeah, I don't think Matt Hamill's just trying to get a payday. Just overturn that loss since I know they won't, but since the rulings or the rules changed, just give him that win, be officially undefeated, and I think Matt Hamill's just trying to stay relevant or get a payday.
No. All right, Brandon, tossing it to you. 1 minute. Hamill wants to rematch Jones. Do you think he would stand a chance? Give us your thoughts. You got a minute starting now.
So to answer the question, do I think Hamill has a chance against Jones? Absolutely not. To answer your question, Zach, he's 47 years old. He has not fought since, let me pull this up, 2018, and that was at Maverick MMA 6, wherever the heck that is. So does he stand a chance? Absolutely not. Do I want them to give the undefeated record of John Jones, though? Absolutely not either. If you've watched any of my lives before or anything that I talk about, anytime John Jones' name is brought up, I just ragdoll it because I hate the guy. I don't like him. I think he's a terrible human. So I would love to see him just have that one loss on his record, and that's something he has to deal with for the rest of his life. But do I think Matt Hamill should have the rematch? 100% no. He would have to go fight Alex Pereira just to show that he could go against John Jones. That's not even relevant. But no, he can't win. Leave John Jones' record alone, though. Let him keep the loss. Let him suffer through it for the rest of his life.
Feels like Jones keeps getting brought up.
I hate John Jones.
I know.
I hate John Jones.
We always somehow, and you write these questions, but you always seem to somehow include John Jones still in these, and it just gets you all fired up and heated. So
I always will.
I blame you on that one. So
It's hilarious.
all right, we're gonna jump to our third topic titled "Sub Only." So Zach,
man.
as we've kind of mentioned, or Brandon mentioned earlier, you're kind of known for your submissions in wrestling. You've got 5-year wins by submission. So the question is, who do you think is the best submission artist in the UFC? And we'll let you start this one too. We'll just kind of go to you and then to Brandon. So, who do you think is the best submission artist in the UFC? You got 1 minute starting now.
I think overall Charles Oliveira is the best submission artist in the UFC. I mean, he's choked out. I mean, I think he holds the record for most submissions in the UFC. I could be wrong. Maybe not. But he's got a lot of submissions. He submitted a lot of good guys in a lot of title fights. Lots of different types of submissions. I mean, even in his last fight against Arman Sarugian, he had him in a few deep chokes. Arguably won one of the rounds off of his back, if I'm remembering it correctly. So I think overall Charles Oliveira. I think Diego Lopez, maybe it's recency bias, but I feel like he's a great sub-only guy. Bryce Mill's another guy, even though he hasn't had a submission in a while, but his grappling overall and his ability to get things like twisters, they're great. But I say Charles Oliveira overall.
Yeah, very nice. All right. Taking it to you, Brandon. Who do you think is the best submission artist in the UFC? You got 1 minute starting now.
Oh, man. So originally I was going to say Brian Ortega. I thought the dude was just so gritty, and I was like, man, he has to have like 10 submission victories. I have it pulled up here to the side, though. Brian Ortega isn't even in the top like 20 in submission victories right now currently on the roster, which I was surprised by. Charles Oliveira does have 16. That is the most. But if I'm talking all time, though, it's hard to not say Charles. But if I didn't say Charles, I'm saying Damian Maia, I think was one of the best submission artists in the UFC. If I'm talking current, I think I got to go Charles as well. I'm upset that Brian wasn't on the list that I thought he was going to be because that's who I was going to go with. So I'll agree with Zach on this one. I'll say Charles Oliveira, too.
Very nice. All right. With time to spare as well. So, all right, Charles Oliveira, not a bad answer from either of you, I think. I think that's a It's a fair one. So, all right, moving to the next topic. Topic 4, ESPN, question mark. So we've got a quote from Dana who said that after the ESPN deal is up, the UFC could turn like the NFL and stream on multiple different platforms. The quote talks about how our rights deal is going to be a big deal coming up here. Who knows? We could end up like the NBA and the NFL where we end up on multiple channels instead of just one. It's all moving and changing so quickly. So the question is, do you think this is the right move for how the UFC broadcasts their events? Brandon, we'll start with you since Zach had the last two start. So do you think it's the right move if the UFC, once the ESPN deal is up, they go to multiple different platforms, probably, I'm assuming, depending on the event or who kind of buys the contracts for the night? So give us your thoughts. You got 1 minute starting now.
Do I think it's the right play? I hope so, because my hope is that they host more free events because I don't want to pay for them. ESPN has been great, but especially after last night, the Ben Roethlisberger thing, the audio checks, all this kind of stuff. ESPN keeps dropping the ball, it seems like. And the subscription fee is so high. Then you got to pay $79 per pay-per-view. I would like for them to kind of do like the NFL, NBA, and all that does. They already have the UFC Fight Pass. Why not have your pay-per-views on that, where you buy the subscription there and then do the pay-per-view, whatever. Either something like that, or you just start hosting more stuff on like Peacock and Paramount and this and that and the other. I think that's the route that I would like to see them go, just because I'm a cheapskate and I hate paying for pay-per-views. But other than that, I mean, ESPN's been great, but the issue always is that dang subscription fee and then all the other things too. Give the people what they want. Bring back the free events.
Nice. All right. Zach, give us your thoughts. Do you think it's the right move if the UFC drifts away from ESPN and does what every other sport does and kind of divvies out the streaming royalties? So you got 1 minute starting now. Give us your thoughts.
Overall, I've liked the UFC being with ESPN. I feel like it gives it some more legitimacy, but them having multiple platforms honestly might be even better because you're going to reach more people. There might be more free events, like Brandon was saying. So from that perspective, I feel like it's probably a good thing. It just depends on like where they're going to be broadcasting them, who's going to pick them up. But yeah, having Fight Pass and ESPN Plus, like, and then like you never know what fights on which, and you have to switch back and forth, and so I wouldn't be super sad about them going away from ESPN.
Very nice. All right. Very nice. All right, Brandon, do you wanna tackle the next section about the rapid fire?
Take it over.
Take it over. It's all you, sir.
Zach, last time we sat down, you built a Mount Rushmore already. I'd have to go back and watch the video if I was going to be honest to remind you of who you said was in the top 4. So instead of that today, we're going to do a rapid fire. I've got 7 featherweights in the UFC. I'm going to say their name. You just give me the first thing that comes to your head about them. 1-word answer, a couple word answers, whatever. But the first thing that comes to your head whenever you hear these names.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, brother. We're going to start off. Ilia Topuria.
Great boxer. Can I do 2 words?
That's fine. Two works. Alexander Volkanovski.
Goat.
Diego Lopez.
Submissions.
Dan Ige.
Tough.
Max Holloway.
West. I blanked on that. It's the goat for him too, but there can't be 2 goats.
Fair enough. Josh Emmett.
Power.
Aljamain Sterling.
Backpack.
I love it. Zach, I appreciate you coming on today, bro. I wish you nothing but the best of luck on Friday. I'm going to give you a moment. Give your shout-outs to your people, your team, your sponsors, all that kind of stuff. The floor is yours.
Thank you guys for having me, first of all. I always love coming and talking to you guys. But fight this weekend. Everybody make sure to tune in. It'll be on ESPN Plus, or come down to Municipal Auditorium, Nashville. Check it out live. I still have tickets. A shout out to my wife and son. They're the reason, I'm still doing this. They support, well, my son's a little young to support me, but, he understands. He knows what dad does. My wife's always in my corner, always encouraging me. My manager, Steve Swedish, with Ruby Sports, he's the one that got me this fight. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here fighting this weekend. All my training partners at Nashville in May, owners at Nashville, and my coaches, Dustin Ortiz, Brian Tidwell, Tim, strength and conditioning coach. My sponsors, Compass Human Performance and Nashville Sightworks. I appreciate all of you.
Heck yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, August 2nd, Nashville Municipal. Oh, it's always a tongue twister. Nashville Municipal Auditorium. We're going to have to clip that and post that. That was terrible. What time does the fight start, Zach? Do you know? It's like 6 o'clock, right?
I think. So I'm pretty sure the fights start at 5:30. I think the doors open at like 5. Pretty early. Awesome. And I'm number 4. I'm fight number 4, so I'll probably be fighting at 6:30 or 7, something like that, I would imagine.
Get it done and go eat and go home, go to bed. That's it. Yep.
Exactly.
We'll put the ticket link in the description of this video as well, but if you need to buy tickets still, you can go to Zach's bio, click the link, use his code. That way he gets that commission money as well to help your boy out however you can. Again, I'm going to put the Venmo link to myself in the description below too. We just had to buy new mics, and that took a chunk of change. So help your boy out as well. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Zack Hicks, again, August 2nd, PFL Nashville, fight number 4. Let's go. Zach, thank you so much, bro.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.